Thank goodness I didn't hit record before that. That's why I always try to see where the audio is. Oh my god. Oh, because I had to turn Dense Attack up loud. And then this game comes in loud. Like, I had to turn Dense Attack up a lot because it comes in quiet through OBS. And then this comes in the opposite way, loud. And so when I switch... My bad. Hopefully I'll remember that for next time if that happens again. Like I said, good thing I didn't... Excuse me, hit record there. Yeah, Twitch had added... What is this? What is this nonsense Twitch is telling me? Oh, I can stream vertically as well as horizontally. Yeah, that's a thing I don't want to do. I barely want to stream horizontally. Don't put me vertically as well. Okay, welcome to the stream. Happy Friday night. Happy week's end. We've got Fata Morgana to read. And we have a doozy, an absolute doozy of a recap. Yeah. Last stream was a bit. Last stream was a concentrated bit, a lot. And I'm going to try my best to recap here. But as I do it, I'm going to try very hard not to, obviously, because it shouldn't be too hard. But if I misspeak, if I get something incorrect, should be the way we handle all recaps, honestly, but especially with this one. If I misspeak, if I misrepresent, if I make a wrong assumption, or with information that will be soon to be revealed, maybe, if there's a better way of explaining something, I'm trying my best. I just want everyone's understanding that when they hear my recap tonight, I am trying my best. But I say that with all my streams. I always try my best. Especially with the story stuff. And there's thoughts and opinions and feelings of characters. And I'm reading between the lines. I'm inferring some things. I'm parsing information. I'm doing a lot of things. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, it was a lot last stream. And I want to get it as best as I can and explain it. And we also cut it at a point where, like, more was probably going to soon be revealed. So I didn't want... So, not that I didn't want, but, like, I want, like I said, understanding is the best way I can do it. Say it. So, the official Austin Fata Morgana Stream 13 recap. What if I start named every recap? Because I think this is Stream 14 if I counted things right. 13 would have been the last one. We begin with the Witch Morgana's story continuing. She's got multiple parts to her story. We basically got to a point, I think we read like 2 chunks of her story, of her backstory. And what we'd do is we'd fade back to the present and we'd see Mikhail be like, oh, this fucking story is destroying me. Like, he would feel almost a physical manifestation of the terrible stories Morgana, the witch, was telling. And he would, like, physically feel it. Like, I liken it to, like, in Duel Monsters, Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, when they were playing the card game and it was just supposed to be, like, holograms of cards and monsters and stuff. But for some reason, at different arcs, they felt the pain. They felt the pain. Whether it was a shadow game or not, they felt the pain. They would act as if they were really being hit with something, even if it wasn't a shadow game. And you're like, what is going on? It's supposed to be just a hologram. It's light, but whatever. Doesn't make sense. But he's feeling the pain. His hand is being bloodied. His face maybe is being bloody. It's all bad. So we resume Morgana, the witch's story, and she's lost, both, I would say, figuratively and physically, actually. What's the opposite of figuratively? Not figuratively. And she finds this, like, abandoned house in a village, previously owned by a witch or whatever. I think she goes on to talk about how, like, she could tell that it was a witch in this village house. I think she walks in, and I think the witch, the previous owner of the home, was just, like, rotting away on a chair or something, like, not even moved. Like, it looks like she just perished and then just was there, maybe. Then a boy, so she takes up residence there. Then a boy with flaxen hair finds her house, I think probably trying to look for the previous owner's witch thing, and asks for help. She's like, or he's like, my little sister's sick. I give her a bunch of medicine. None of it is working. Can I have help? And Morgana helps because she feels that the boy asking is pure and not like demanding that she help. And she's coming off of the time when she was being taken advantage of and squeezed dry, again, both figuratively and not figuratively, of her abilities to heal people with her blood. And so she's like, this is a much better use for me, and I will do it for this boy. And so he's pure and is justified. And her and this boy will go on walks and look at nature and touch grass and all that. So she develops this like bond with this boy because he seems really nice and he's getting helped by her. She is willingly helping him. And I think the medicine is probably working at that point or whatever, but it's whatever. So then he keeps showing up more and more, getting more from her as it needed. But in the back of her head, she knew if they figured out she was sharing blood, it'd be risky and dangerous, because there's a bit where she was like, the blood, using someone else's blood, transferring blood, like, this is unclean and stuff, and people probably are going to look down on this. So in the back of her head, she's like, because I don't think she tells the boy that that's what this is or something at the moment, but maybe she does. I don't remember that exact detail. But at the very least, I know in the back of her head, she's like, if this got widespread knowledge, this isn't gonna be good. I'm gonna be here. So he stopped showing up at whatever point. And she's like, oh, is this because he is embarrassed for asking me for all this help? Like, and now I don't have this boy to go look at nature with? Like, did I do something wrong? Am I the problem? He stopped showing up. And then fast forward some amount of time. Much later, he comes back. And she's like, oh, this is great. I think. I don't know if she knew it was him or not. But there was like a knock on the door. But it's a fucking trap. And standing behind her is this man. A different man. Cuts her arm off. What man is it? It's the assassin man back from the carriage back during like the second chunk of her story or something. And she recognizes him. And I think he recognizes her and he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, it has to be like this. I have to save sister, maybe? I have to save the church. This is gonna save the church. And Morgana's like, what the fuck? Why? What a save a church? Like, I'm a person, and what are you doing? So her arm gets chopped off by this assassin man. I think the arm was given to the boy, like, here, this should be enough to tide you over. And she's like, they're fucking using my body and my gift, and just like, here, fucking take this. And then he like lifts her up, picks her up, I think, and just like, because she's weakened and incapable, I guess at that point, just steals her. Because he needs to protect the church. So there's some fucked up situation between church and the Lord, but we'll get to that in a second. So then the assassin man delivers the body to the Lord, who started profiting off her blood again, and this angers her. She's like, I've already dealt with shit like this, I think. Like, now and I think the whole thing was that I think the relative of the assassin who runs the church, I think it was like a nun or something, it was like false, like a Willy Manilli type situation. That's a fucking reference where, like, I think the nun was pretending to be like, I'm the one who's being able to heal people with, I don't even know if they don't say blood, but I have the gift to heal people, and here, take these healing potions or whatever. No one knows that it's behind the scenes. It's the witch Morgana, I think, type situation. So Morgana pissed at a lot of people, pissed at the boy, pissed at the assassin, pissed at the nun, pissed at the Lord. It's all kinds of fucked. So then she's basically bled dry at this point, basically to her death or whatever. And the three men at some point go up to find her wherever they're holding her, maybe the watchtower thing, another symbolic watchtower, whatever the case is. And they don't even, she notes that they don't even check on if she's fine. She's like dying or dead right as she's dead, and she's like watching her body from like an ethereal state or something. And she just sees them arguing, like, oh, I didn't want to kill her. Oh, it was your fault. It was your fault. And this pisses her off even more. She's like, not only did they do the thing, but now even in my death, they're bickering about the worst of things. So she's like, that's it. That's the final straw. So she's like, I'm going to curse these people. But she calls them the wishes. Because she's like, I'm not using the negative connotation word for what I'm about to do to these people. I'm wishing ill will against these bad people, basically. So she does certain things to these people. Basically, with her abilities, or at least she even admits, she's like, I either made this happen or it happened and it wasn't directly because of me, but at the very least, it's going to feel like it came from me, so I feel justified and feel fine with this. So basically, the the sister of the young boy who was taking the medicine starts violently throwing up and vomiting and dies, maybe? And this sends the boy into a panic. He's like, oh, it's because he literally screams out loud. He's like, it's the witch. It was witch's blood. She was ingesting witch's blood. And everyone else, you're all ingesting witch's blood. And then he like stabs himself in the neck with a fork or something, kills himself. And this just sets off a domino chain reaction of just fucking everything. So he's like, oh, it's the blood of the witch. And all hell breaks loose. Young boy kills himself. The church lady she was jealous of gets the ire of people. So that nun gets like attacked because the village people are like, well, you were peddling this shit on us and you knew it was this unclean blood stuff. And so they attacked her, and of course the assassin is going to protect the relative, so he starts fighting them off, but I think both the nun and the assassin die to the angry mob, and then the angry mob is like, they've already killed 2 people, and they're like, well, who else can we take our anger out on? They go to the Lord because the Lord was peddling this shit as well, basically. So they go after the Lord, and then Morgana is not even satisfied at that point. She's like, I'm going to continue to curse those people, and I'm going to do my reconstruction or reconstitution or whatever the fuck the term is. I always forget what something. It's like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, and reconstitution. So she's like, I'm not done with leaving these people. Like, even in their death, that's not enough. So I'm going to keep bringing them back. And that basically is the explanation, I would assume, or at least the game is leading us to believe, that the 3 people we saw in the first 3 doors of the mansion, the Mel, Bestia, and the Pinocchio, those are the 3 guys, the young boy, who I don't think we ever got named, the Assassin Man, and the Lord. Those are their forms that she continued to curse and then had bad things happen to them. Because of, again, at least in her eyes, her curse or her wish towards those people. So then we go back to Mikkel, and he's experiencing the pain, and Morgana's like, all right, time to get your backstory, because that's what this game is. It's all about backstories and flashbacks and everything, because that's just how this unfolds. And he's like, no, please, don't do this, like, not like this. These are bad memories you're gonna conjure up. And there was like a little bit or something where there was like a fake or false like Giselle there, who was then like, oh, I saw the letter that you wrote or whatever. And so I know your secrets or whatever. And he's like, no, don't fucking do the backstory. Don't make me tell my backstory. I don't like icebreakers. Don't make me talk to... And then it's like, nope, too late. We're telling you, the backstory is happening. All right, so this is the part that gets fucking, like, there's gonna be a bit in here that I'm gonna try to explain as best I can. sensitive stuff here a little bit. So, away we go. He sends a letter in the past to his mom trying to accept Mikkel as a guy. I think there was a mention of like 2 letters. There was the one to his brother and then the one to the mom, right? So the letter apparently to the mom was like, can you accept me as a guy, not as a woman? This is where we find out Mikkel was Michelle back however long ago, and I guess born female. Now I'm going to pause the actual official recap here, and I'm going to say that I have a theory about this little detail in my head that I think for now I will keep in my head, and maybe I will share at a later time, or maybe if I'm correct and it gets revealed later on, you're just gonna have to trust me that in this moment I'm calling something that you don't know exactly what I'm calling, but it doesn't matter. So yeah. At the very least, the story is telling us right now that Mikhail was born basically Michelle, and in the eyes of people there, it was a girl. A baby girl who grew up. Is that at that point that, I don't know if the game explicitly says it, but at least I've theorized or basically surmised, I've put 2 and 2 together, that this is probably the actual reason, and I think I said this last stream, that the actual reason and basis for being pushed out of the household and the family for him, not because of his looks, which we see that they think looks interesting or whatever. Like, they even make I think the game specifically made a point in the story to be like, no, the mom and dad think the looks of Michelle are fucking cool, and oh, it looks angelic, or whatever the case is. So the game specifically calls it out, so then we're led to believe that, yeah, it's probably what ends up happening as they grow up, being this kind of, like, split in the family kind of thing. So, we see another flashback. So we get the flashback, and it's like at slightly later than being born. We see Michelle. We see the parents. We see the 2 brothers. We're going to go quick over this, but we see Michelle wants to be a knight or a sword fighter or something. But of course, all these people in Michelle's life say that that's not fitting for her. Very stereotypical, oh, that's not a woman's job. That's not a girly thing to do. That's not a girl's hobby. You're more fit to spin thread or something. There was some example that the game said. I don't know, pick flowers. There was something the mom was like, here, help me do some random thing. I don't fucking know. But it was like one of those stereotypical, like, this is the girly things to do kind of thing. And so then, I don't know if I said this in the stream, but I've thought about this at the time, and then in between then and now. It's at this point, I wonder specifically, and maybe at this point doesn't even matter, but I want to put this to voice here, that it's almost maybe like a chicken and egg slightly type situation, but I'm not really sure if that makes sense for what I'm about to say. But like, I wonder if it's like this. It's one of 2 things, or maybe neither. But what I'm trying to say is this. Is it Michelle wants to do these things, the boyish things. Everyone around her keeps telling her that those are boy things. Therefore, Michelle says, I must be a boy. If I want to do, as a young person, if Mikhail goes, I want to do these things that everyone's deeming as a boy, and they say only boys do that, well then I must be a boy. Or, if it's slightly more like, I feel more like a boy, I want to do boy things despite everyone not approving of it, I want to do boy things because I'm a boy and these other girl activities suck. And I know that's like such a splitting of hairs thing maybe, but I was thinking about it a lot where it's like, oh, there must be, like, it could, like, and this might not even get answered, and it might not even matter, but it was something I was thinking about where I'm like, huh, I mean, if you're a young child and you're like, oh, I want to do, like, your brain, it goes, I want to do all these things, and everyone's telling me only boys should and would want to do that, well, then I must be a boy. Or if it is just like, I feel like a boy, I want to then reinforce that by doing boy things, maybe? Again, I'm splitting the hairs, but I just thought it was an interesting thought, maybe. Anyway, at that point, we get introduced to Amy, who it was a name that was thrown out a couple streams ago. We were previously told about them, how Mikhail had this forbidding crush on Amy. I think this was told from Mikhail to Giselle at some point when they were just having a talk. At that point, I should have been like, oh, this is probably going to be a story beat later on. So I don't think I put that together. That was going to be like an important thing, and I probably should have guessed it was. But we get Amy, and Amy seems to be a really chill person. Really cool. Really nice, you know? And she is set to be married to the younger brother, I think. The artistic, not the knight sword fighting brother, but the more lackadaisical seeming artistic whatever brother. And they're set to be married, and they're gonna have like a wedding party kind of thing, or I don't know what kind of thing. It wasn't during a wedding, but a soon-to-be married party. I don't know what you'd call that thing. So we get this really upsetting party scene where Michelle gets introduced to a lot of the artist friends. They kind of don't take the upsetting nature seriously at the beginning, which is problematic. We get this guy whose name I forget, but he like kisses her hand and actually makes contact with his lips, and that puts off Michelle, and she's like, this fucking sucks. And then she goes away for a bit, and then we get the more upsetting thing where, again, I'm making short of it because it's all a thing. Go see the last stream if you want to see the details, unfortunately. But basically, he forces himself upon Michelle, obviously very uncomfortable. Michelle doesn't like this. We see... At the very least, I'm surprised this even happened, because at this point, shit is happening, and I'm like, oh, it's probably going to get worse or stay at this worst level. But at the very least, the younger brother, whose name I cannot for the life of me remember, so I'll just keep saying younger brother, goes and fights, sees this is happening, fights the guy, beats him up or whatever, but the deed is done. It's already upsetting. It's very not great. There's, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, there's some lines where the younger brother's like, oh, if I knew he was going to do that, or if I shouldn't have let this happen. And it's like, okay, well, it did happen, and you're kind of, it's a little too late. Your apology's a little too late in my eyes, kind of thing, type deal. So she goes, Michelle goes back to the room. She's obviously upset, and we saw, like, Amy comforting her. Amy says some things, I can't remember exactly what the context was, but Amy's like, oh, it's kind of unfortunate that, like, you're a girl, you're a woman, so that guy is just naturally able to, like, take advantage of you because he's a guy. And probably that's, like, a seed that is gonna, like, sprout here shortly in Michelle's mind, where it's like, yeah, if I was a guy, this maybe wouldn't have happened, or I would have been able to prevent this bad thing from happening. I think that's probably the meaning of that scene. That's that line at least, where it's like, oh, internalized Michelle will be like, well, fuck. Another, again, it's a collection of things that at some point probably is going to fully be finished being cooked inside of Michelle's head, and Michelle will be like, oh, I don't feel like I'm a woman. I feel like I should be a guy, kind of thing. And at the very least, it'd be very cool if Michelle turns to Mikkel, who might also be pronounced Michelle, but we already been over that in the last streams, and just goes and kills that person. That would be fun. That would be fun. I hope we get that tonight. We see the transformation, and then we get Mikkel to go and just murder an artistic fool. That's what I want. Anyway, that was a longer recap. I thought this was going to be shorter, but I... talking a mile a minute here. So let's read for a couple hours. Oh, we're right at the end of what I had said. That was we got a flash of them in the room. Amy frequently visited my chambers. I didn't know if it was at Mother's request or of her own volition, but I prayed it was the latter. She was a very touchy-feely person, and she seemed to have a particular fondness for playing with my hair. Oh, man. Already. The forbidden crush. It's tough. It's such a tough situation. Oh, I feel bad. Whenever her voice danced its way into my ears, it would wreak havoc inside me. Being enveloped in her scent day after day stoked the fire growing within me. I did my best to remain as straight-faced as possible, because the last thing I wanted was her catching on. I understood that the things I was feeling were untoward, to say the least. Your hair is so utterly enchanting. I've never seen hair so white before. I think having color is much prettier. Oh, well, George says white is the most difficult color to make with paint. There's no greater challenge than capturing the beauty of true white. Living with such a splendid example of the color must have given him a very high standard of quality. I'll be very curious to see how this game deals with Amy. And does Amy... Is there a knock against Amy where does Amy potentially lead on Michelle at all? Like, How much do we venture into Amy really, like, for lack of a better term, like, leading on Michelle, knowing why it probably is not best for Michelle to engage, right? I'll be curious to see how much... Basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm curious to see if the game paints Amy in a bad light at all. Does the game paint Amy as a bad person at all? I'm curious. That's on my watch list right now. Those are the two things tonight that I want to see. I want to see the explanation of if Amy is bad, and 2, murder that guy. I want Michelle/Mikkel to murder the artist man. Say, Michelle, maybe you could tell me about yourself today. I would love to get to know you better. Tell you about myself? Yeah, we could become even better friends if we found out some mutual interests. I enjoy playing chess, and I consider myself quite good. Oh my, chess? I've never played. You're such a bright girl, Michelle. Would you like to try? I could teach you. I appreciate the offer, but I think I'll pass. I doubt I'd be any good. Damn. Oh, okay. Never mind, I guess we can't have an activity to ourselves. That's a little too real. What else is there? Say, your favorite kind of flower, fragrance, color of gemstone? Are there any embroidery patterns you're particularly skilled at? I don't have any favorites, no. And I'm not especially good with a needle either. No? Do you have shaky hands then? I wouldn't say that, no. I'm, fairly good with a knife, I think. A knife? Oh, like a kitchen knife. No, a sculpting knife. Sculpting? Is that really so strange? It is a bit unusual, I'd say. But Georges does it all the time. His room is practically made of wood chips and charcoal and paint. Georges is an artist and a man. Amy? Careful? There's nothing unusual about him doing some sculpting. Man, we, and I'm saying this sarcastically, before I get clipped out, I'm saying this sarcastically, man, do we love gender roles. It's very standard gender roles here. We're in a very standardized gender role society right now. Oh, women don't do art. Art is a manly man thing. Sculpting, knives, wood chips. Why is it okay for him but not me? Does being a girl really make that much of a difference? We got woke king over here, Michelle. We love a woke king. Well, why don't we practice embroidery together, Michelle? I get the feeling you spent too much time with your brothers. Oh, Amy's falling down the coolness ladder, the ladder rankings. But now you have me. I'm sure it won't be long before you appreciate how much fun cooking and needlework can be. She sounds just like Mother, and she gives the same reason too, because I'm a girl. But that's not an explanation. It's a vague generalization. That said, if I agree, I can spend more time with her. No, Michelle, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay. Wonderful. We'll come up with beautiful designs together. And when you've made something you're proud of, you can give it to a boy who catches your eye. Or, if you prefer, you could give it to your father or brother. I would like George to have what I make, though. Oh, I've been wondering. Did you and George meet at the royal court? Oh, heavens, no. I've never been to the court. One day, my father told me I was getting married, and the next day is when we first met. It happened that quickly? What, are you worried about me, Michelle? Don't worry, I'm not displeased with the arrangement. In fact, I'm quite happy with it. Aristocratic marriages are almost always sudden. And as a woman, you get used to being a piece in their games. But George, he's different. He's a gentleman. I never looked up how to say George. I think I landed on saying Georges really quickly. Like very subtly saying the second, like Georges. It's probably not right. It's probably not right at all. It's probably because, what, is it still like, are we still in French territory? It's probably just George, or Georgie. It's probably something along those lines, but I can't help, my brain can't help but say Georges when I see it, and I'm too lazy to check and look it up. So Georges it is. Multiple Georges. But Georges, he's different. He's a gentleman. A gentleman? Him? You sound surprised. I believe hedonist suits him better. Oh, I quite disagree. I have complete faith he'll do good by me. I couldn't fathom where she found such confidence in him, especially a man she had only just met. How could she trust him at all? She was nothing but a pawn and she knew it, so maybe she was simply putting on an act. I had trouble believing her smile was anything but genuine, though. One day, you'll meet the right man for you, Michelle, and he won't be a drunk like the guy from earlier. He'll be a kind, hardworking, respectable man. I would rather not find anyone. I suppose this is all too soon for you, huh? Say, how old are you, Michelle? 14. Oh, wow. I assumed you were younger. Do I really look that young? No hard feelings. You're just like a tiny little doll, so small and slender. And look, not one bit of meat up here at all. Oh, man. The gender dysphoria just flaring up at this point. Hey! She playfully grabbed me from behind and started prodding at my chest. As her delicate fingers slid across my skin, I found myself gripped by very indecent urges. Every heavy thump of my heart felt sinful. She couldn't know. I couldn't let her. Everything I had been fighting to keep down came hurtling to the surface. You're so cold, you know that? She was touching me like it was nothing, caressing my hair. Was she this intimate with Georges? Georgie? Multiple Georges? Now I can't. Now I'm going to start giggling every time I say multiple Georges. Because even though I don't say it, I'm going to think multiple Georges. And I'm going to laugh inside. I fucked up. Okay. Or was it because I was a younger girl that she was so keen on putting her hands all over me? Before I understood what I was feeling, my body acted. It was pure, unfiltered impulse. Oh boy. In my attempt to escape from her grip, I twisted around only to find my face inches from Amy's. Slowly gravitating closer, I pressed my lips against the corner of her mouth. Oh no. No. Amy sat there, flabbergasted. I was equally aghast. I'm sorry. As I frantically put some distance between us, I'm sure my face was red as an apple, though I didn't know it at the time. Well, that was certainly unexpected. I'm sorry, did I make you uncomfortable touching you so much? Oh no. I'm getting like secondhand like embarrassment via a story. Amy was smiling, though it looked forced. No, not at all. Then I must have startled you. I'm sorry. If I had let you go sooner, we could have avoided this accident. What do you mean, accident? A kiss on the lips is... It wasn't an accident. There you go. Yeah, there you go, Michelle. State your intentions clearly. Leave no questions. You've already done it. Now, one could argue, hey, Amy's trying to give you an out by saying it was an accident. Don't worry about it, especially if she's not, obviously, of wanting it. But honestly, at this point, if I was Michelle, I'd double down. Just don't do it again. Don't double down in that fashion, but double down and say it wasn't an accident. Hate me if you want, but don't mistake my actions. You know what I mean? It wasn't an accident, she says. It wasn't, Amy. I seem to have confused you somewhat, Michelle. What? I know I can be very touchy-feely with you, and you took that to mean you should do the same. No. You can't do that again, alright? If you want to kiss your friends, you do it on the cheek. Save the lips for the man you love. We should get going then. George starts getting cranky if I don't give him enough attention. Hold on, Amy. So long, Michelle. Nah. That's tough. She wouldn't hear me out. Once Amy had fled my chambers, that was when I finally comprehended my own emotions. That she had stolen my heart. But Amy was George's fiancée. No, that wasn't the problem. My body was not meant for her love. Ah, mi corazón! Nerg. I awoke in the middle of the night to pain in my joints. Not enough exercise, I guess. I tried bending and stretching my arms and legs, but did nothing. So after pondering on it for a bit, I decided to go for a late night walk to distract myself. As I approached the corridor adjacent to the courtyard, I heard a woman's voice. I'm still concerned about staying here. Amy's voice. Doing my best to remain perfectly quiet, I pressed myself up against the wall by the window and listened in on their conversation. I knew it was improper to eavesdrop, but the sound of her voice had me frozen in place. It's Michelle. I'm afraid I've confused her. No! Oh no! Oh god, it's all gone to shit. Oh, and now we start to see, oh man. Oh, we see the fracturing coming from a mile away. Oh. A tiny jolt ran down my spine, my muscles all tensing up at once. Sound of my name rising to her lips, but not in the way I would have liked. She kissed me. Well, almost, but how could I have guessed she thought of me that way? Mother told me she didn't have any female friends, and asked me to be one for her, which is why... So she had only been coming to see me because Mother had asked her to. I'd been afraid of that. Afraid that she wasn't there to be with me. That she had no fondness for me. That my yearning for her was one-sided. She kind of scares me, the way she looks at me. Always watching every little move I make. I'm sensitive to that sort of thing. I can tell what's going through Michelle's mind. I managed to deflect it this time, but... I should have never gotten friendly with her. It's heartbreaking already. The anxiety. Oh man, she had seen through me from day one. Understood what I was feeling before even I had. It's disgusting. Homosexuality. Homosexuality? Did I hear her right? Something inside me crumbled, and with it came an intense sense of wrongness. There was again, that overpowering discomfort. That fear coursing through my veins, that repulsion, that irritation, that apprehension. What on earth was I? Did I view Amy as a member of the same sex? Were the things I felt homosexual? I heard Amy sigh from beyond the window. Then the man beside her, who she was confiding all this in, replied, She's still just a child. That voice. And one with underdeveloped social skills, besides. Understand that she's going to do and say some inappropriate things. It's not uncommon for a child to mistake admiration for love. And I didn't know this until recently, but when she gets something into her head, she has a tendency to run with it without thinking. It was not the man's I had assumed it was. The other day, she asked me to let her be a knight. I can't imagine how she thought that would end any other way. Why? It's not very often there are women other than Mother at the estate. I imagine she simply got nervous being around you and something got mixed up in her head. Why was Didier, I think we settled on, out there with her? I hope that's all it was. Amy, hadn't you told me you thought George was a gentleman? So what were you doing getting so friendly with Didier? And Didier, weren't you my ally? Or was that all an act like her? You were going to be a knight, so why were you out here with your brother's fiancée? I'm glad to have you here, so I hope you can figure something out to make it work. I'll do what I can, and I'm kind of reluctant to say this to you, but something has to change. As it is, she kind of grosses me out. Oh, stop! The knife! The knife is already in Michelle's back. Stop twisting it, please. Please stop this unnecessary meanness. Oh. Brutal. Oh, God. She grosses me out. This... I'm sure I've told this story on stream before. At least once, if not multiple times. It reminds me a lot of back in, like... must have been 4th or 5th grade. I don't think it was any time sooner than that. I had a crush on this girl in 4th or 5th grade. Hadn't said anything really to her. Wasn't even much of her friend or anything. And I don't want to, like, pin the blame on, like, my mom at the time who convinced me, oh, it would have been a good idea to, like, buy... You know, like, how schools do those, like, buy a flower, a carnation for, like, a Valentine's thing. And you can have it sent to someone around Valentine's Day or whatever. I'm not even putting the blame on, like, a parent that maybe convinced me it was, you might as well do it. I'm sure my mom was roped in at this at some point. I'll say this, she didn't stop me. So, of course, I was like, oh, this is a good idea. Had a flower delivered to the girl I had a crush on it. Like I said, it was the 4th or 5th grade. I can't remember which one. I remember her name, but I'm not going to say it out loud. Had it sent, and long story short, suffice to say, she did not reciprocate the feelings, and not only that, but then I remember, because it was delivered, like, earlier-ish in the morning, and then, I'm pretty sure it was, like, the rest of the day, I could feel and hear her and her, like, little friend group, like, joking about it and laughing about it with me, like, earshot. Oh my God. And it just fucking ruining me that day and for, like, so much longer. I hope I'm not dramatic when I say this. I'm pretty sure that fucked me up, like, mentally for at least, like, as far as, like, having, like, crushes on in, like, grade, like, school age things, like, that moment totally ruined me, like, mentally. And maybe if you were, like, a psychologist or something, or, like, someone who to analyze my brain, probably could trace that as, like, a branch or a seed, and, like, even extrapolate, like, current stuff for me. Like, it was so traumatizing back then. I know I'm probably sounding dramatic, but I remember that day, that week, the rest of that school year, because it was, like, you know, second half of the school year because of Valentine's Day. That rest of that school year sucked so much ass, and I just remember it was, like stereotypical. I could tell they were laughing about it and bringing it up, and it was, like, a thing, and it was, like, well, fuck. And looking back at it, like, I wish, like, I could go back in time and tell young me, don't even try. But, like, back then, I was a kid, probably just wanted to try something. Like, I was like, oh, probably go back, analyze young Austin's mind. Like, what? And he's probably saying, like, oh, what's the worst that could happen? Not realizing the thing that happened could definitely have happened, and it did. You know? Sucks so bad, dude. Man. Like, even thinking back to that moment, it makes me want to throw up. Like, I feel so bad. Like, even it was so long ago, and I laugh about it because I can laugh about it now, but also, like, it stirs, like, this, like, thing in me where I'm just like, damn, I was really done so dirty. So dirty, dude. I'm sure I've told that story at least once or twice on stream, though, before. But it's funny to bring back up. Especially with what's happening on screen now. She grossed me out. Okay, in quotes. It's so sad. That probably the girl I had a crush on probably was saying the same things. Oh, he grosses me out, man. Man, young me was bold, though, for trying that. Oof. I've lost all that confidence since then. That was when I learned that the world was evil, and I was never... I never was the same after that. Back to the story. Sorry, for diverting there. So what? I was some kind of sick, disgusting creature. All I had done was show feelings for her. I couldn't be George or Didier. The needles, piercing me expanded, both in size and number. Soon, I was being skewered by a dozen of them, and the heated sighs rising from the courtyard only served to make the pain worse. All I could do was cover my ears and run. I feel bad. Feel bad for Michelle here. Why? What were you doing out there, Didier? How am I gross, Amy? It's not real. It's all a bunch of lies. This entire house is nothing but a fraud. None of it was ever real. The family gatherings, Amy's smiles, Didier's kindness, George's... What about George's? Fuck George. George... Did he agree to the marriage knowing about them? What the hell are they thinking? You want to know who's really disgusting? God damn it! I will not cry. I will not cry. Can't let myself... Girls cry. Tears are for girls, not for me. I bit down hard on my lip, wrapped myself in my sheets, and pressed my hands hard over my ears. Squeezed my eyes shut as tight as I could manage, tried to get away from the things I'd seen. Images of them embracing in the night threatened to float back to the surface, but I shook my head, casting them off. Praying I wouldn't have any nightmares, I drifted off to sleep. The next day, I awoke with a terrible fever. I hovered in a sweltering wave of heat, unable to tell dream and reality apart, listening to a seemingly endless stream of crackling noises. The sounds were coming from inside my body. I thought I was falling apart. Mother was horribly worried. I had never been the most healthy child, but I had never fallen this ill either. I couldn't get out of bed. My voice was raspy like an old woman's. I was genuinely afraid I would wither away and die. Mother called in doctor after doctor to see me, but they all said it was the flu. That bodily pain was common with fever. While there was a doctor in the house, Mother was able to remain relatively calm, but once they were gone, the anxiety came back. She stayed with me, day and night, even foregoing sleep. Her hands gripped mine. They held me fast. She had her head bowed, as if in prayer. Don't worry, it'll be all right, Michelle. God is watching over you. He will protect you. You are His child. You are His angel sent to earth. He will not forsake you. The doctors say it's just the flu. Though her words seemed to be directed at me, there was a vacantness in her voice, as if they were really for herself. Did I say that right? There was a vacantness in her voice, as if they were really for... Okay. That makes sense. I don't know why at first pass that didn't make sense to me. For so long, she had wanted a daughter. I couldn't understand her fixation, but seeing her there through my cloudy eyes, I wanted to apologize for ever thinking spending time with her was agonizing. How are you feeling? Your mother's here for you, don't worry. But the only sound that came from my mouth was a faint gasp. I drifted in and out of sleep, Mother's hand wrapped around my own. And I had numerous dreams. In my dreams, I was a man. In my dreams, I was Didier and I was Georges. In my dreams, I fell in love with Amy. Ugh. And in my dreams, I loved her. You're disgusting. But with one word, the dreams twisted into nightmares. My body was torn into fleshy chunks, and I sunk into the darkness. I feel so bad. Several days later, my fear was gone, like it had never been there. However... What the... My voice did not recover. And when I attempted to climb from my bed, the murderous pain in my joints came rushing back. Instead of my feet, I landed on my face. My voice was unbelievably deep. And the pain only got worse. I've been there before. Every time I took a breath, it felt like someone's hammering a spike into the back of my neck. It felt like my body was falling apart. Like my dreams were becoming reality. Michelle! Michelle! When Mother scrambled into my chambers, I remember the time she had spent at my bedside, and a wave of relief came over me. I reached my hand out in a show of vulnerability, but she didn't take it. She couldn't take it. Mother? What? What's wrong with your voice, Michelle? I see. You're still not feeling well, are you, Michelle? A look of restrained fear on her face, Mother stepped toward me, placing her hand on my forehead. Her palm felt hot against my skin. You don't have a fever, but I hurt all over my joints. You're still sick, Michelle, but don't worry, you'll be fine in no time. Now, back to bed with you. You're a girl, you're a girl, so you shouldn't be sitting on the floor. It's bad for your back. As Mother repeated the phrase, you're a girl, again and again, that nagging sense that something wasn't quite right grew more distant. Was I really sick? Was this actually my voice now? And if it was, what was I turning into? My voice was certainly not a girl's voice. My voice never went back to normal, though, so Mother ordered me to remain in my room. I hadn't recovered yet, and so long as I was sick, I couldn't be let out. So long as I was sick, I couldn't be let out. I think I read that right again. Again, something felt wrong about her calling it a sickness, but I had no evidence to the contrary. I had no way to know I wouldn't get others sick if I exposed them, as she claimed, so I had no choice but to do as she said. In time, Mother too stopped visiting me, and the only people I saw were servants. They did their jobs, but refused to look me in the eye. No one else came to see me, though. Not Amy, Didier, or Georges. 1 month passed, then 2, 3. Occasionally, the pain in my joints would withdraw. At other times, it would worsen. Whenever I would drift off to sleep, I would hear the sound of my own joints creaking. I would dream of a woman standing in the courtyard, her soft chestnut hair fluttering in the wind as she twirled to face me, a smile on her face and her breasts exposed. One day, after around 6 months of servants refusing to make eye contact, I stopped one and made a request to have a mirror brought to my room. While he didn't acknowledge me, the next day I had my mirror. By that point, I was fairly certain I knew what was happening to my body. I had no clothes to wear, because none of the multicolored dresses hanging in my wardrobe fit me anymore. Pulling the heavy red cloth covering the mirror aside, my completely naked body came into view. Something resembling a mix of a chuckle and a sigh of pity spilled from my lips. This is me. 6 months. After only 6 months' time, I could hardly recognize myself. Extending my hand for the mirror, I traced the outline of my bony reflection. My shoulders lacked Mother's curves, and my skin Amy's sheen. I was pale and haggard, but structurally I looked like my brothers. Obviously, being younger than them and not as active, my muscles lacked any kind of strength, but I wouldn't have batted an eye if I saw myself holding a sword. Obviously, being younger than them and not as active, my muscles... Yeah, okay. I was a full head taller than I had been 6 months earlier, and I felt an odd certainty that I wasn't done growing either. Staring at myself in the mirror, I traced my name across the surface. Michelle. Don't need the last two. M-I-C-H-E-L. Michelle/Mikhail. Oh, look at the transformation. For the first time in my life, I liked my name. I still didn't think an angel's name suited me one bit, but it was staggering how different it felt now, even if it sounded exactly the same. Editor's note. It didn't sound exactly the same. We're changing. It's Mikhail. We gotta stay consistent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, game. I'm sorry, audience. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've done this. I've committed the ultimate sin. How was I supposed to know? It's so confusing. We gotta keep it straight. Those last 2 letters changed the meaning entirely, turning it from a girl's name to a boy's name. Now this makes sense. Everything was falling into place. My admiration for Didier, the envy I had for my brother's bodies, the feelings I had for Amy, the indecent dreams I'd been having. I was always male. Ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Like the laughing, the maniacal laughing with the ah picture is really good. Laugh, laugh, laugh. I cackled like a fool for the first time in my life. I laughed so hard at the sight of myself, my stomach hurt. It was the first glimmer of light I had seen in this locked room for far too long. This was what I was supposed to look like. My life up until 6 months ago, constricted and uncomfortable. My life as a girl was all a lie. No one could possibly look at me and call me an angel. I was always a boy, but I'd been told I was a girl, forced to act like one. Of course, that wouldn't feel right. Ha, 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 ha! They needed to know. I couldn't be the only one who understood. Everyone in this house needed to. Fueled by this one desire, I wrapped a sheet over my shoulders and threw open my door. Oh shit. Time to get mad at the family. It seemed ridiculous how long I had followed Mother's instructions and remained cooped up in my room, and now I felt fantastic. If there truly was a God in heaven, then this change within me, was his answer to my prayers. A manservant carrying a tray of food did a double take as I passed him. The farther I proceeded through the corridors, the more eyes I felt on me. The midday sun shone obnoxiously bright through the windows, but now, with its piercing radiation illuminating my proper self, I felt an odd affection for the light. I could hear the family gathered in the great hall, everyone but me. Didier's voice complained about the simple meals the church provided, but his pride came through in his laughter. George's voice playfully bragged about life at the royal court. Father's voice informed everyone his investments had borne fruit, and with the money he had purchased several new estates. Mother's voice was distinctly less bright than the rest of the family's. She gave vague, empty indication she was listening, though mostly stayed out of the conversation. Amy's voice sang her praises for George, her beloved husband. Never mind the fact that she was sleeping with Didier. It was all a facade, a mere shadow of a family. It's a shame Michelle couldn't be here. Then we would have everyone. I was there. I was right there. I hadn't gone anywhere. You had just locked me in my room. Oh, damn. I hope she recovers soon. I was never sick at all. The child you called Michelle was actually your son. That was all there was to it. I'm here! Huh? What? Everyone's gazes concentrated on me. I gave them all a quick glance, and then, with my deepened voice, I said, I am cured. I was cured 6 months ago. Who are you? Surely you haven't forgotten my face, have you? Father? Michelle? Michelle? This boy is Michelle? A wave of chatter spread through the hall. Oh man. Mother went pale. Father objected. Didier stared. George gaped. Amy watched cautiously, fear in her eyes. What a farce. They were the ones who had wrongly decided I was a girl. What's going on? Someone tell me, what is the meaning of this? You were dressing your son up like a girl, Mother. No, I read that bad. Try that again. You were dressing your son up like a girl, Mother? I assumed he was a girl. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put my hands on him like that. You lied to me. Oh, you lied to me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Pandemonium. Pandemonium in the Bollinger family. I would have never agreed to it had I known. No, you're wrong. Michelle's my daughter. You called that a girl? All these months I was worried because you said he was sick. But that was all a lie. You couldn't pass him off as a girl anymore, so you locked him up in his room. Oh, God. Is that what this is? And you could have just stayed there. What possessed you to show yourself now? Stop that. Don't look at me. Don't give me that look. You said you can tell what's going through my mind, didn't you? What? Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now. Don't be so damn full of yourself. I have no interest in a whore like you. Oh, whoa, hey, whoa, whoa. Oh, it's elevating. Maybe it's justified, but it's elevating. The conflict is elevating. Everyone calm down. Everyone. I'm so conflict averse where like I start even like I'm imagining this. I'm imagining like I implant myself into this story. Like if I was also at the table and I'd be like, everyone, let's just talk this amongst ourselves like we're all adults. Let's all just chill for a second. That would be me. That would be me at the table. So yeah, alright, we're slinging words. So why don't you go cry into Didier's arms? You... What? Huh? What are you talking about? Why Didier? Why not me? What? Hey, anyone want to explain that for me? What had once been a nice family meal was now utter chaos. For the briefest moment, I felt sorry for George, but that whisked away. Yep, whisked away almost immediately. There was a crash from the table and dishes fell, shattering against the floor. Cursed. Chilling darkness oozed from her voice. She's cursed. She was my daughter. Saw it with my own eyes. I gave birth to her. She was a girl. Michelle was a girl. A malevolent curse. A malevolent curse has been placed on her. When Mother lifted her head, I had difficulty believing that was the same woman who had sat by my bedside as I lay sick, sacrificing sleep to care for me. Her hair was a frazzled mess and deep creases covered her face. Restrain her, throw her in her room and lock the door. She's a girl, she was a girl, I swear it. Open your eyes. Do I sound like a girl? Do I look anything like a girl? Mother's cries sent me into a frenzy. I ripped the sheet off my shoulders, throwing it to the floor. I am not a girl! And shouted, Eek! Restrain her, please, someone restrain her! Fear reigned in the great hall, but then several moments of icy silence were broken by a muttering that shocked me as much as anyone else. You're not a boy or a girl. What on earth are you? You're an abomination. You're not a boy. You're an abomination. I'm... what? I had seen myself in the mirror. I was undoubtedly male. Lacking in strength, though they may have been, I had visible muscles. My chest was flat and I was taller than a girl should be. My voice was deep and I had an obvious lump in the middle of my throat. I was male. I had to be male. What else could I be? So why was Amy looking at me like some kind of strange creature? A chill ran down my spine, and I suddenly found myself deeply uncomfortable being so exposed. There's nothing there. You've got nothing there. Nothing there? I didn't understand what she was talking about. Dude! This is what I was talking about during the recap. I had a thought we were gonna go here. That it would kind of make sense, and there's been, I don't know if I've read stuff or I've watched things where this ends up becoming like a thing. I think I was right. I think it's revealed in like a second, if not already was. Unable to press further, I fell silent, at which point several servants burst into the great hall and restrained me. She's a girl. She's my daughter. Mother, seemingly in a mad daze, just repeated the same thing over and over. She was a girl! As Mother wailed, she wandered off somewhere. Father stood there in silence. Amy stared at me with disgust in her eyes. George was still in a panic and Didier clenched his fists. Eventually, I started regaining my composure, which is when I realized I had made a mistake. Now, I'll... brief little pause here. One could make the argument, I don't know if we're going to see more before the falling out where you get thrown out of the house kind of thing. But, and I'm not saying I agree with everything that took place and how they treated Michelle. But I start to see like, oh, this is definitely an inciting incident where you've caused enough grief and turbulence in the family dynamic where all of a sudden I could see where they go, okay, well, you're banished kind of thing, because now you've upset us for unjustified reasons, but you've upset us. You ruined a marriage potentially. You ruined Didier. Like, at some point it's like, well, we got to punish you somehow, whether it's justified or not. It's like you're begging for something. Also, and we may see this, it might be that Mikhail is totally fine with being sent away from this family. Like, maybe there is a formal, like, oh, you're banished and we're sending you to this bad place. But we might get in the mindset of Mikhail, like, yeah, I don't want to be around you guys. You guys suck so bad. Eventually, I started regaining my composure, which is when I realized I'd made a mistake. My sickness had been made into a curse. Oh. I was once more caged up in my room. In addition to the door being locked from the outside, the windows were boarded over so no one could see in, leaving me in perpetual darkness. I received no visitors except the servants, and again, none of them would look me in the eye. Every day was the same, day in and day out, day in and day out. The only time the routine changed was when, on occasion, a servant would arrive bearing a letter. It was my mother's handwriting on the parchment. We lived in the same house, yet she refused to show herself before me. I had no choice but to respond to her letters. She demanded I speak like a girl. I didn't have the strength to defy her. There was a constant sense of urgency to her letters, like she might fall apart completely at any second. And so I did as she said. I signed each letter, Michelle, the female name she bestowed upon me at birth, which I so despised. Every time I used that name, I felt like I was denying my own identity. On paper, she expressed her concern for me, but that concern only served to cause me more pain. Yeah, a little bit of music going. So every time I took up my quill, my hands trembled. Mother, prayed daily that my curse might one day be broken. Am I cursed? Is that why my body changed? Was it not because I was male? There's nothing there. What does she mean by that? Why did she look at me the way she did? How am I an abomination? Why? I don't understand. Someone, anyone, please tell me. Someone, please. I have brought your supper. I will be back shortly to retrieve your dishes. I'll be going then. Wait. What? Wait a minute. Yes? What do you need, Michelle? Are you a man or a woman? Pardon? Which are you? I am exactly what I appear to be. Which are you? I am a man. If that is all, I will be going now. Clothes off. What? Take your clothes off right now. Everything, even your underclothes. What? Surely you jest, Michelle. Yes, this is one way of handling and figuring out things. I don't know if I agree with this method, but I'm very serious. I could not possibly. Why not? I could not expose myself. I ordered you to take off your clothes. You mean to humiliate me? I beg you, please reconsider. What are you? You're a servant of the Bollinger estate. And what am I? I am a child of the Bollinger family. I may be locked up, imprisoned in this room, but that doesn't make you any less my servant. Am I wrong? Clothes off. Michelle, I ordered you to take your clothes off. Not even the tiniest sliver of guilt arose in my conscience. I felt no shame in what I was doing. All that mattered to me was figuring out what Amy had meant. I wanted to find the truth. Not knowing, I would have been better off in the dark. His face twisted in humiliation. The servant undressed before me. In the dim candlelight, the man's body was shaped almost like a rectangle, and at a glance he didn't appear much different than me. A second later, though, I found my answer. I found the one crucial thing he had that I didn't. Why? My lower body lacked the part that made a man a man. Are you satisfied, Michelle? It was then that I finally learned what a man's body was supposed to look like. I'm begging you, please allow me to dress. It would be an unbearable shame to remain unclothed any longer. Before the young Bollinger daughter. Daughter? You still insist on calling me a damned girl? Look at these shoulders, my chest, listen to my voice. How can you possibly think any of that belongs to a girl? But how you appear does not... There was a distinct look of fear in the manservant's eyes. Not out of respect for our difference in rank, but out of disgust for this incomprehensible thing standing there before him. Those trembling eyes, and the reality dangling there before me. Dangling there? Come on now. Blew the lid once more, off everything I had been holding back. Without that, you would be no different than me. What? Everything else is all the same. So why? Why does it make such a difference? That you have one and I don't. Michelle. I am a man. I'm a man just like you. I'm no one's daughter. And if you still insist we're not the same, then I'll make you like me. Oh, no. Mikhail, get a hold of yourself. Without that, you're no different than me. It was a mix of dread and panic that pushed me over the edge. And so, in order to keep myself afloat, I decided to bring another pain. Please don't do this, Michelle. In a blind frenzy, hardly even aware of what I was doing, just riding the current of my erupting emotions. I swiped a knife off the tray the man had brought, knocked him down, and climbed onto him. I'll get rid of it. I'll make you the same. Without it, you'll be just like me. Get off me, please. Someone help. I'll make you just like me. Get in here, someone, anyone. Michelle. She's delirious. Oh. Through the fog of hysteria, I suddenly realized I was surrounded by several servants, and the next thing I knew, I was on the floor beneath them. There were as many, if not more, than when I had made the scene in the Great Hall. A dozen men servants stared down at me, their eyes filled with fear and revulsion. And in the shadows beyond the crowd, I saw Mother looking in on me with vacant eyes. Mother, why? Why will you only speak to me through letters? Why do you say I'm cursed? Mother, I'm male. I was always male. Tell me that I am, Mother. Let me out of here, please. I'm not delirious. My head is perfectly clear. I'm normal. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not cursed. Mother, say something. Mother! After that, I was shut in my room again, and even the servants stopped coming. I pushed and I shoved and I pulled and I pounded with all my strength, but the door and windows didn't budge. A day passed, and then another. With no food or water, I started fearing death was upon me. I had no idea how miserable it was to go so long without water. My throat was dry and cracked. I felt like it was on fire, making breathing difficult. 2 days. 48 long hours. I felt like I was going to lose my mind. After just 2 days, my skin stretched tight across my bones, looking hard and dry in the soft candlelight. Water. I need water. Someone please give me water. Why won't anyone bring me any? Why? My family had abandoned me, or leaving me to die in this room. When I realized that, I broke into uncontrollable shaking. The helplessness threatened to suffocate me. Fear of death turned to panic, which only scrambled my already confused mind further. I grabbed a chair, swinging it at the window, at the door. But all my attempts ended in crushing failure. Anyone! I clawed at the door, begging for help. Someone, open the door! Anyone! Water, I need water. 1 drop, that's all I need. I'm going to die in here. Someone. Anyone! Mother! Father! Didier! George! Someone, open the door, please! Help me! Someone! I need water.
My throat hurts. It burns. I'm so weak. Someone water. Today, George. Anyone?
Parched. But not a single soul came to the door. With no food or water, the third day came and went, and then the fourth. By that point, I was expectedly devoid of any sense of dignity, and I sat there, covered in all manner of human filth, as my body quickly wasted away. Still, I clung to the vain hope that someone would open that door. It was all I had. Occasionally, I would hear footsteps. Whenever I did, I mustered up what meager strength I had left to bang on the door.
Whoever's there, please, open the door. I'm begging you. Someone.
But my pleas fell on deaf ears. Though they didn't respond to me, I could hear the Abigails muttering to one another in the corridor.
Did you hear that? Yes, I did. Onward's gotten into Lady Michelle. They say she was cursed. Maybe she sold her soul to the devil. How dreadful. We should stay away from that door, if we don't want to be cursed too. I'm not cursed. I did not sell my soul to the devil. I'm kind of scared. I might have to find work somewhere else. Gotta make sure we stay away from that door. Why do you think I'm cursed? I never did anything wrong. Lady Michelle has lost her mind. She's deranged. I'm scared even thinking about her. I am not deranged. My mind is perfectly fine. She's right crazy. She's right mad. No, I'm not. I'm perfectly normal. Tee-hee-hee.
Tee-hee-hee. Damn, they're tee-hee-heeing him.
Someone, please get me out of here.
This is brutal. The fifth and then the sixth day passed, and by that point I was hovering on death's brink. I lacked even the willpower to hold myself up against the door, so I simply lay on the cold floor waiting for the end. I felt no sorrow, no anger, no despair, nothing. I had been sucked completely dry. I couldn't even compose a coherent thought, which is why when the door I had so yearned to open actually did, and someone stepped inside standing over me, I was unable to process it. My God, what a mess. Hey, are you still alive?
Well, look at that. I was afraid you would be dead.
It was Amy's voice. Oh. What it?
I'm sorry, really. I didn't mean you much harm. But after what you said in front of the whole family, I was a little upset.
I couldn't tell what she was saying. All I could hear were garbled sounds. And all I could do was moan at her.
The servants are all afraid of you now, after your little episode, so I volunteered to bring you your food in their place. Everyone was so grateful. I don't think anyone likes you anymore.
Eventually, my muddy mind managed to make sense of the thing she was holding in her hands. A tray of food. I could smell it from here.
At first, I just gave your food to a stray cat. I wish you could have seen it devouring every last bit. Water. What I didn't know, though, was that people can die in just a few days without water. Never intended to kill you. I just didn't know. So I'm really sorry about that. Water. But you're alive. For someone so physically weak, you sure are tenacious. Isn't that nice? You have one thing you can be proud of. Water. What was that? Water? You want water? Hold on, got some right here. She picked up a goblet with her delicate fingers. My hand swiped weakly at the air, trying to grab it. A grin spread across her lips. And then she let go. No. Go on, drink. You'd better hurry or the rug will absorb it all. You wanted water, didn't you? Then drink.
In that moment, I could hear the sound of the last of my dignity crumbling away. Driven solely by my survival instinct, I bent down toward the rug.
pressing my lips against the spreading puddle. You really did it. This is too good, Michelle. You look like a cat. No, cats are much more graceful. I can't stop laughing. The daughter of a prestigious family, the Bollingers sucking water out of a carpet. Ah, I wish I had a painter here to capture this image on canvas. So you know, I accept that I made a mistake, Michelle. I promise I'll bring you your food from now on. I'll take very good care of you. This is going to be fun. Listening to her childish yet deeply malicious laughter, I understood. I was her plaything now. My hell was only just beginning. What the fuck? Having gotten food and water, my body recovered somewhat, but I was hardly in peak condition. That would take some time given how badly malnourished I had been. Amy continued to treat me like her pet, constantly stoking the flame of rage within me. But I was too weak to stay on my feet for long, and talking hurt my throat. I assume it was a calculated effort on her part to maintain power over me, to keep me as miserable as possible. She always had a smirk on her face as she gazed down on me. Come on, open up. Today I'm going to feed you myself. What's the matter? Can't put anything in with your mouth closed. Or do you want to starve to death? Amy, why are you doing this? Why? Because it's fun, why else? You married into this family, you sick wench. What gives you the idea you can treat me? Are you saying that because I married in, I'm of lesser stature than you? That's true, I am. But what's your point? You think you can intimidate me with formalities? Amy! Ew, I would rather you not speak my name, if you wouldn't mind. Doesn't excuse your treatment of me. Someone, Didier George, will make you pay for this. You don't have a single friend here, Michelle. No one to take your side. And no one to say a thing about me playing with you. Assuming you were somehow able to tell someone, no one would believe you. That's a lie. Do you have any idea what people say about you? They say you've gone mad, that you've sold your soul to the devil. Do you honestly believe anyone would trust you? I'm not mad. I don't know. You look plenty mad to me. Fine, then I'll run away. I'll escape from this estate, and from you. You think you could survive out in the world with that body? A stray cat could lift more than you. You never find work. I give you a week at best. You can't be so sure of that. Maybe I could make it on my own. Maybe, but either way, there's no way you're getting out. You try to run, someone might just cut your legs off. How is that at all necessary? Don't ask me. Maybe because your curse hasn't broken. You know, you're lucky you're even allowed to live. Ugh. And you should be grateful to me for volunteering to take care of you. Nobody else wanted to have anything to do with it. So if you want to keep living, you have to show me some respect. You have to do everything I tell you to. Understood? So this is the real you? You were just pretending to be respectable? When in reality, not only are you sleeping with Didier, you're a downright vile woman. You've been putting on an act ever since you got here. Oh, you make it sound like I'm somehow worse than anyone else. Quite normal, thank you. How is this normal? Listen to me, Michelle. The side of me you see right now isn't necessarily the whole thing. The sweet girl I am for the family is also me. And when I held you in my arms, that too was me. Not putting it on an act. Liar! Although, to tell you the truth, I never actually liked you, so that part was a lie. Yes. If Mother hadn't asked, I would have never even considered getting friendly with you. Amy! You know, life as a noblewoman is so dull, so restrictive. No room for love at all. So can you really blame me? There so happened to be the most wonderful night right there for the taking. Why shouldn't I have gone after him? I'm still young. Let me have some fun, you know? Not like women have much else in the way of recreation. So it wasn't Didier, but you who seduced him? And it all would have worked out beautifully too, if you had only kept your mouth shut. You ruined our family gathering and damaged my reputation. And you called me a whore. That wasn't very nice now, was it? And it just got him there. Wasn't nice. Is it any surprise I'm a little sore? You brought this on yourself, Michelle. I brought this on myself? Don't you dare. Nothing justifies what you're doing to me. I'm not the disturbed one. You're a crazy whore. And don't you try and pretend otherwise, damn you. Oh my, such language. You're not being very nice to me, Michelle. Girls aren't supposed to talk like that, you know? I'm not a girl. Then what are you? I'm a man. A man? With that body? Amy quietly rose, grabbed me by the hair, and shoved me to the floor. Let go of me. You call yourself a man? You can't even get out of a girl's grip. I'm not all that strong either. In fact, I'd say I'm rather weak. Just a small, powerless girl. Even if you were a man, you would have no problem breaking free, malnourished or otherwise. But you can't. Get... She traced the lines of my emaciated ribs with her nails, traveling slowly, down my chest. But even ignoring that, you're missing the most important part. Stop. Get off me. I tried to shove her aside with all the strength I could squeeze out of my arms, but as Amy had said, I couldn't even overpower a girl. All I could do was lie there beneath her and beg. Get off me! Groaning in anger and frustration. Her finger came to a stop just above my navel. She looked up at me with a sweet smile, and then pulled her hand away. And just as a wave of relief spread through me, she shoved me back, jumped up, and slammed her foot between my legs. Ugh. I shuddered as the pain jolted up my spine. Amy looked down on me as I screamed. Scream. A smirk spread across her face. Oh my, does that hurt? There's a surprise. Even without boy parts, it still hurts. Stop. Stop, please. And she didn't stop at stepping on me. I'm begging you. Stop, please. She dug her toes into my flesh. What are you exactly, Michelle? From the feel of it, you don't quite have proper girl parts either. Amy, please. Top of the physical pain, unbearable humiliation, and shame corroded away at my spirit. It was like an hour, well, not even an hour ago, I was asking, I wonder if it's gonna be revealed that Amy is either nice or a piece of shit. And we definitely got one side of that scale there. Damn. On top of the physical pain, unbearable humiliation, and shame corroded away at my spirit. What a strange creature you are. Stop. Stop! If I could have died right then and there, honestly, that would have been preferable to the emotional hell she was putting me through. You should take a look at yourself in a mirror, Michelle. You're crying, sobbing like a sad little girl. And not much of a boy, are you? And you lusted after me with this body? Seriously? You're disgusting. Can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me. Okay, we're gonna take a very quick BRB. Jesus. I need to restock on water and go to the restroom, and we'll do that. So I'm gonna throw up a BRB. I will be back shortly, and we'll read for like another hour once I'm back.
Coming back. There we go. Sorry, I'm looking at stuff. Okay. Cool. Clicking around. Okay. Amy's abuse was not a one-time occurrence. As she had promised, she came to feed me every day, but her arrival brought nothing but anguish and torture. Every day she chipped away more of my spirit, but I hadn't succumbed to her yet. My anger still overpowered any fear I felt. About a week after Amy started caring for me. Have you been a good girl, Michelle? Brought you your supper. I'll set it right here for you. What's the matter, Michelle? Your food's right there. It's going to get cold. Go on, eat. But no using your hands. Crawl over and use your mouth. Oh my god. The humiliation. Come on, eat. Or would you rather I fed you? You? What was that? Do you have something to say? Fuck you. I'll kill. I can't understand a word you're saying, Michelle. If you would eat, you would have enough strength to talk. Ew, you. Huh? I'm going to kill you, Amy. That was, I believe, the first time in my life I had felt a sincere, overpowering desire to end someone's life. I wanted to see her dead. With my hands and legs tied up, I lurched for her. And like the dog she so wanted me to be, I chomped down on her wrist. Oof. The taste of someone else's blood was far more unpleasant than I had expected. I felt like I was going to vomit. But I was determined to not let go of her wrist for any reason. I would gnaw through to the bone and rip her entire hand off. Jesus. She could beat me unconscious and I still wouldn't let go. She would have to kill me to get me off of her. I wanted her to feel the same pain I felt when she trampled on me. Let go! My body never did what I wanted it to, though. I could swear on my life I wouldn't release her arm, but I could never seem to make good on my determination. Amy's foot flew up into my emaciated gut. The pointed tip of her shoe dug into my flesh like a knife, and I collapsed to the floor in a fit of convulsions. And just as I was about to cough up a mouthful of stomach acid, she rammed her foot into my abdomen a second time. She didn't even give me enough time to get on my feet, let alone fight back, before she kicked me again. I'm trying to think of all the, groaning noise I can make. Again and again and again and again. Stop. My gut, my chest, my legs, and my face. What's wrong with you? Don't you get it? You're not the one in control here. You should be thanking me. What you did to me that day was incredibly hurtful, yet here I am bringing you your food. Can you not see just how kind-hearted I am? Alright, Amy, chill with it. You are not... Fuck off. Honestly, fuck off. You're not... Oh, man. Don't even play that card. Ugh, God, it's disgusting. Ugh. Agonizing. This has been just an agonizing hour-and-a-half read so far, I must say. Cough noise. So why would you go and bite me? What would possess you to do such a thing? Gasping for breath, my consciousness slipping away from me, I caught a glimpse of Amy's eyes as she swung her leg back for another kick. And when I did, a single word rose to my mind. Demon. The kick noise. Isn't that something? You can't even stand up to a girl. I'm not that strong. I'm weak and frail. This is the first time I've ever kicked someone. I have absolute control over you, Michelle. You understand that now, right? You learned your lesson, didn't you? Not an ounce of strength remained within me. My tongue and cheeks were torn up and my mouth tasted of blood. Thinking herself weak and having no experience in the ways of physical violence, she knew no restraint. The ignorant can be so much more brutal and viciously relentless than the seasoned. My vision had gone red and I could hardly feel my own face. There was a strange gurgling sound with every breath I took. Gross.
Ah, jeez. What am I going to do about this hand? It hurts like crazy. Oh, I know. I'll tell everyone you finally lost it and tried to bite my hand off. They'll all feel so bad for me. I can just see the sad looks on Didier and George's faces. They... not... You know, your brothers have completely given up on you. A deranged sister is nothing but trouble. You know what you are, Michelle? You're a demon child. Why was I the demon and not her? Why did no one come to my aid?
It's tough. Several times I considered ending my life, but every time I did, memories of better days came back to me. Of the time before my body had transformed. The days when we were all so sure of our happiness kept me chained to life. Why couldn't things still be the way they had been then? In my heart, I hadn't changed at all, so how had things ended up like this?
Michelle. Oh, Michelle, are you in there? Did you need something, George?
Oh, we got a flashback. I was about to say, are they back to being fine?
Oh, come on, don't be like that. Do I have to need something to talk to you? No, but you looked like you were in an unusually good mood, so I thought, well, why wouldn't I be? It's a wonderfully gloomy day out. I would understand if it were clear out, but can you really say it's wonderfully gloomy? Well, can't be outside for very long when it's not cloudy. So in our case, this is perfect weather. What do you say we go for a little stroll while we can? Dee's around today too, so we can see if he's up for it. It'll be like old times. We've been running around like headless chickens lately, so we haven't had much of a chance for a sibling outing. We'll have Mom make us lunch, and then... Ooh, we'll take a couple horses up to the forest edge. I'm fine with that if you are.
You bet your bum I am. I asked after all.
Now come on, let's go.
Better times flashback.
An outing, you say? Yep. Hop on a couple horses and head for the forest. We haven't done this in a while, so I figured why not? I see. Well, if Michelle is coming, I see no reason to say no. Let's set off right away. Whoa, slow down there. Are you saying you wouldn't go if it was just me? It's Michelle or nothing? Of course. Why on earth would I want to go horse riding alone with you? I would rather drown myself.
Le gas! Le gas? Really? Le gas. I'm sorry, that took me by surprise.
Didier, could I perhaps make a small request? Go on, let's hear it. Do you mind if I hold the horse's reins? Oh, that's all? By all means. I'll be there behind you to make sure nothing happens, so have at it. But to be warned, my horse is a bit temperamental. If you're not gentle, he'll start getting moody with you. I doubt that'll be a problem for you, though, Michelle. I'll be careful.
Leg gasp.
Hey, whoa, slow down, guys. Look at that, Michelle. George's still fumbling around all the way back there. Are we going a bit too fast? No, you're fine. That you were able to get past that so quickly is proof of your talent. Finally caught up. This isn't a race, you know. Why can't we enjoy the scenery and indulge in some nice pathos? A warrior and his horse need not of pathos. Isn't that right, Michelle? Certainly is, Didier. Come on, you guys, be nice. This was my idea. You're really taking after old D, haven't you, Michelle? I, for one, would rather see you admiring flowers or dancing with butterflies or gazing out at a beautiful sunset or enjoying poetry. More pathos, my dear sister, and less barbarism. Long swords, suits of armor, and tales of heroic knights are so much more appealing, though. You've let him get his claws in too deep, Michelle. Oh dear, oh my, I'm going to have 2 meathead siblings before I know it. What did you just call me? Now, you two. Why don't we stop here for a picnic? Seconded. My stomach's been rumbling up a storm. Took a few bites earlier because I was about to die back there. Hope your horse throws you into a river.
Fuck George.
Hey, so the other day I brought a cat home. Cat? Yep, speckled from head to tail and ugly as a witch's arse. I was gonna keep it in my room, but Mom flipped when she saw it. Keep that filthy thing out of my house. Wish there was something we could do about how much of a clean freak she is. George, try not to stress Mother too much. You're unpredictable enough as it is. It would be nice, though, to have a cat, I mean. You think so? And how about this? Keep it in the courtyard. I'll feed on days when it's clear, and you can do it when it's cloudy, Michelle. I don't know what cats eat, though. I bet he'd like pastries. Do you want to kill the cursed thing? Cannot approve of anyone taking care of an animal who thinks that's a good idea. Sorry. Oh, pull the stick out of your arse, D. Life's all about experimentation. Live and learn. Don't experiment on animals. Good one. Good one, Didier. Well, if you're going to be like that, how about you help out too? You can keep an eye on us and make sure we don't do anything stupid. What? Now you're trying to drag me into this? Already done. You're in. Settled. Damn it, George. Now we need to come up with a name. Have any ideas, Michelle? What? You want me to name it? Not very often you get to give another living thing a name. Well, guess you might have a few more chances down the road. Consider this practice. Something elegant and beautiful. You got this. Now, George, don't put so much pressure on her. You have a point, though. It's a good opportunity. Don't stress too much about it, Michelle. Just choose something you like. You said the cat was speckled and ugly? Yep, one look and you'll be laughing so hard you can't breathe. Alright then. Ugly Speckle. Me as a 6-year-old being able to name the family pet? Ugly Speckles. Me uncreatively naming my first Pokemon I caught. Giving a nickname to a Pokemon. Ugly Speckles. That's so sweet. It's so innocent. It's such a little moment. Don't laugh at her. That's its name? It would seem you do not have a future in the arts, Michelle. But you said it was ugly and speckled, George. I did, yes. Could have tried a little harder than that, though. But you know, why not? Ugly Speckles it is. It's actually kind of charming when you say it out loud. Ha ha ha. Ugly Speckles. It's not that funny. Huh. It is quite something indeed. The more I think about it, the more I... Not you too, Didier. Alright. Ha. We should bring Ugly Speckles on our next outing. Just looking at the word Ugly Speckles is very, very funny to me. Sitting together beneath the clouds, having lunch. That we should. Oh, when Michelle's gotten a little bigger. Let's do this again. 3 of us and our ugly speckled cat. You said it. We're all good friends here, after all. I've never been your friend, though. God, must you always be such a jerk? Good times. Good times. Didier. Georges. Was Amy telling the truth? Do you really think I'm nothing but trouble? Do you think I've lost my mind? That I'm a demon child? Didier. Georges. Why do you not open this door for me and let me out? Were the things I said that day really so heinous? Do you resent me too, like Amy? Didier. Georges. How do you think about me now? Is this body really so unusual? If I hadn't undergone the transformation I did, would things still have been the way they were before? Would we be able to go out to that forest again and make silly, meaningless conversation, everyone laughing like we had then? If this body hadn't changed the way it did, would I not be trapped in this darkness? Even if that were the case, I didn't want to be a girl. If God descended from heaven and offered to change me back, I would have turned him down. Because inside, I wasn't a girl. And my nightmare at Amy's hands didn't end there either. As much as I loathed to admit it, I was terrified of her. Every day I dreaded the sound of the door opening. However, if I were to block the door off with furniture, I would lose my only remaining lifeline. I had no choice in the matter. It's time for supper, Michelle. I brought your favorite, parsnips. Well, what the dogs didn't eat of them anyway. But you don't mind, do you? I'm going to cut your nails today, Michelle. I need you to stay very still. You wouldn't want my hands to slip. So to make sure you do, I'm tying you up. This way you can't accidentally move. Here's your water, Michelle. It's murky? Oh, heavens me. I must have fetched it from the wash basin by mistake. Ooh, I oughta Amy. It's supper time, Michelle. I brought you parsnips again. Don't worry, dogs didn't have any of these. They didn't seem to be interested in eating them raw. What, you don't want any? Then what am I going to do with these? You know, Michelle, you're such a disgrace. Cry for me, won't you? Beg for mercy. Ha 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 ha. Look at you, all that pride gone out the window. It's hilarious, I tell you. She did everything imaginable to torture me, both physically and emotionally. To be honest, it was rather impressive, in a sick way, how she was able to come up with so many different ways to torment me. And she knew precisely what caused me the most pain. My body and the discrepancy between what I was and what I felt I was. She delighted in telling me I wasn't male, and sometimes in showing me. But I don't think I need to describe the things she did to me in any more detail. I could think of only one way to keep myself from breaking down. I completely stopped talking, stopped struggling. Then, one day, after about 6 months or so, she said with a disinterested sigh, "I'm done." And that was the last of it. By swallowing my pride and not resisting, I was able to escape from her grip. Once she was gone, the servants took over attending to me again. I was still imprisoned, but now there was a serenity in my solitude. I didn't speak with anyone. I didn't make eye contact. I didn't do anything. I just lived. But even though I had peace, I still feared Amy having a change of heart. I trembled at the possibility that one day it might be her that opened the door. But above all, I hated, despised the fact that I lived in such fear of a girl. An overwhelming self-loathing threatened to crush me. I had recurring nightmares about the things Amy had done to me. The wounds she gave me did not heal. They only grew worse, eating away at me day after day. I was beginning to lose confidence in my own sanity in the silent darkness, where there was no sense of time. The line between dream and reality blurred. I often found myself screaming, crying into the empty air. I clawed at my skin, pulled out my hair, paced back and forth across the room, pounded at the door, yelling for help, screamed some more. It was the very image of pitiful, absolute wretchedness. And every time I did, I'm sure there was someone on the other side of that door whispering about how poor Michelle had lost her mind. Eventually, I gave up entirely. The dread. It was a stormy night in my 16th year. I'd been confined for more than 2 years at that point. Jesus. Heavy rain pounded against the windows like thousands of little spears. I was sitting quietly on my bed, unable to fall asleep, when suddenly there was a loud banging on the door. Michelle? Michelle, are you awake? If you aren't, then hurry up and get awake. We've got big trouble. Lower your damned voice. But... When I first heard my brother's voices after so long, I thought I was hallucinating. In 2 years, they had never once comforted me, no matter how hard I pounded on the door, no matter how many times I called for them. And after all that time, I didn't expect that to ever change. I'd given up, assumed they had long since cast me aside. Unable to bring myself to say anything, I simply stared at the door, and there was another bam bam. The sound was half consumed by a crack of thunder, giving it an indescribably eerie quality. Please say something, Michelle. Or Mikhail. Seriously, there's no time. Did you call... DJ called Tim Mikhail. Or, well,
We go back to the whole thing, is that technically it's Michelle and Michelle, just spelled Michelle with an extra L-E, or Michelle like this. So really, he said out loud. It's not like we, or it's not like they know how he's writing it out when he says, please say something, Michelle. But to us, at least the reader, we're seeing Didier say, please say something, Michelle, the way Michelle/Mikkel would want it to be written now, which is interesting of note. But I guess verbally it would not have changed if he had said Michelle, Michelle, Michelle. But whatever, I digress.
Seriously, there's no time. You can hear us in there, can't you? You're there behind the door, aren't you? Come on, just one word, Michelle. Mikkel.
Michelle? I can't flip-flop anymore. I gotta commit to what I was saying I was committing to. Mikkel.
Is it really you, Didier? George? For a moment, they seemed to be at a loss for words. Probably because they almost didn't recognize my voice. But it was only a heartbeat. And then Didier spoke. There is a carriage waiting outside. I'm going to lock the door so you can leave in it. Why? Because Dad's talking crazy. He's saying the Bollinger family's no need for a demon child, that you're a mark of shame on our name, so he's going to have you executed. George's father wants me dead? It felt like the floor had fallen out from under me. Executed? Demon child? Mark of shame? So he was saying I didn't even deserve to live anymore? It's planned for tomorrow morning. We only just found out ourselves, which is why you prepared a way for me to escape. But why? Why? Do you even need to ask? Because we're family. Something terrible has gotten into Father. I clenched my teeth, fighting back a bitter, angry sigh. But I couldn't keep all those emotions bottled up for long. A maelstrom of feelings I thought I had lost in my 2 years of imprisonment swirled up inside me, spiraling from my lips. Why are you doing this now? If you really felt that way, then why didn't you come sooner? 2 years I spent locked in this room. Do you have any idea how I felt in that time? Any idea how hard I had to fight to endure? How many times I cried for your help? How hard I pounded on the door, begging to be set free? But never once did you come. Not even once. Mikkel, I scare you, don't I? You think I've gone insane? That I've lost my mind? That I sold my soul to the devil, don't you? No, Michelle. We don't. Then why? Why didn't you come and set me free? Mikkel, No, we don't think you've lost your mind at all. So you didn't want to see me then? You didn't want to face what I'd become? Tell me I'm wrong, Didier. George. You left me here, abandoned me for 2 whole years. Locked me away so you didn't have to see me. I'm sorry, I'm just, really busy with my art. I've been getting a ton of commissions down at the court. And Didier's a knight now, So he's up to his neck in expeditions. I'm really sorry. Too late. As am I. I cannot say that you were wrong. After what happened, I wasn't sure how I was supposed to act around you. Still not sure, even now. I knew I had to find the time to collect myself, but I kept putting it off, vainly hoping that time would take care of it all. For that, I owe you an apology. But you need to understand, I do not agree with Father's decision. I do not want to lose you. I don't think you're a demon child. And George feels the same. Neither of us want to see you dead. What he said, Mikkel. There's not much time. We need to get you out of here. I bit down hard on my lower lip, hard enough to drop blood. It was that, or start sobbing. It's a little late for that. Mikkel, if you don't get out of here, you're going to be killed. If I'm not an angel sent from heaven or a demon child, then what am I? What on earth am I? What are you? You're a Bollinger. You're our family, and that's all there is to it. I pray you can forgive me for averting my eyes for so long. Can I trust you? Can I trust that even if the whole world says I'm cursed, that you'll always be on my side? That you'll always be my brothers? Can I put my trust in you once more? Didier, George. You absolutely can, Michelle. I swear to God on high. And I swear to the God of art.
Thanks, George.
Michelle?
I have no other choice, do I? Couldn't talk father out of it, could I?
I would rather you didn't try. He's not a man to change his mind. If you were to show up before him, he would likely draw a sword on you himself. It would destroy Mother. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this only for you. Okay, I'll go. Oh, thank goodness. The carriage will take you to a mansion, Michelle. Go. It's a property Father purchased some time ago, but due to rumors about the house, it's abandoned. No one wants to buy it from him either, and that's unlikely to change. It's the ideal place to keep you out of sight. What kinds of rumors? Well, no point in keeping it a secret. He has a right to know. They say a witch lives there.
See? Here we go. So, I pointed out, they were saying, at least us to the reader, Michelle without the L and the E at the end. But we have George here saying he. Seemingly at least trying to be understanding. A bit. They say a witch lives there. A witch? I think it's all just made up personally. I went to check the place out and there was no one there. It was a little dreary to be sure. I had hoped to have a better place arranged for you, but there wasn't enough time. This is only temporary, Mikhail. I cannot say how long it will be. I have to stop. I have to keep forcing myself not to. I'm trying to keep it straight. But Father will pass away eventually. When he does, George will inherit the estate, and that will mean you can return. So I ask that you hold out until that time. If I don't leave, I'm going to be executed. So send me anywhere. I won't complain. Glad to hear you say that. I will talk to Father and ensure he does not suspect anything. We'll make this work. Don't you worry. Long and short of it is Dad simply wants you erased from the family. George. Sorry. I wasn't trying to be mean. But anywho, once I take over, we're in the clear. You'll be acknowledged as a Bollinger. I see. Okay then. Can I open the door now? Just a minute. Huh? You're still not ready? I don't have any clothing. Right. You wouldn't, huh? How tall are you now, Kel? Around same height as you, I think. You're taller than me? Damn. Alright, I'll bring you some of my clothes. Thank you. Wow, I don't think I've ever heard you say thank you without putting up a fight, Mikhail. That's not true. I don't think. I'll be back soon. Get what you need together. Alright. Sitting in the carriage waiting outside, listening to the pitter-patter of the rain, I gazed out at my two brothers. I hadn't seen them in 2 years, but they'd hardly looked any different than how I remembered them. I was the only one who had changed, and dramatically at that. Looking at them, I couldn't help but remember the old days, playing chess with Didier, learning to draw from George, our sibling outings. However, the ominous sound of thunder crashing in the distance drowned out those memories. The mansion is several days' travel from here. Hopefully the carriage isn't too uncomfortable. I'll send a package with any supplies you need once a month. Food, clothing, and something to pass the time. If there's anything you want, Mikhail, just tell me. Now, or you can have a servant pass a message on to me. I can't think of... Actually, wait. I can think of one thing. I would like a chess set. Alright, I'll have one made. I would rather have yours, Didier. Would that be possible? Are you sure you want that beaten old thing? Yes, I want that one.
Alright then. I'll include it in the first delivery. I'll send you something too, Mikhail. Anything you want, just tell me. In that case, I would like some art tools. I'm nowhere near as much of an artist as you are, George, so they don't have to be anything special. Gotcha. So some canvas and... how about some charcoal? And when you're back, I want to see what you made with it, okay? Okay. I know this is already hard enough on you, Mikhail, but I need to ask you to do something for me. Avoid making contact with anyone who doesn't already know about you. So, can't talk to anybody but the servants? Put simply, yes. Tomorrow the world will consider you dead, so we cannot have people finding out you are actually alive. Especially Father. Please do this for me. I've been doing that for 2 years already. I've long since lost interest in interacting with anybody, so you don't need to ask me to keep to myself. Right. Does anyone else know I'm alive? Yes, Mother knows. In fact, this was her idea. It was? She loves you, Mikhail. She really does. Mom just, is having a little trouble facing the truth. So even though she's not here to see you off, I guarantee you she doesn't want to see you dead. She wants to have you in her life again. I expect Mother will be writing you, so please, take the time to write her back. She's a troubled woman, but her love for you is true and unwavering. Will you do that? Just a quick little, hey, got your letter, doing great, will suffice. Alright. Just so you know, it kills me indeed that we can't stand up to Dad. But as long as he lives, his word is God in his house. I understand that, yes. Well, you never know. He could be gone quicker than you expect. A week from now, and bam, he's dead as Dee's social life. Is there not an ounce of respect in your body? Oh, give me a break. I'm upset. He's gone way too far. And once he's dragged his arse off to the great beyond, anything goes. Surprise, Mikhail is alive. Yeah, I suppose. Until then, we'll take care of things here. Tomorrow's gonna be the performance of our lives. Crying like a couple of big babies and laughing our tails off inside. You'll forgive me if I have trouble trusting that loose tongue of yours. Psh, I'm not stupid. I know this is important. Not even Amy will suspect a thing. Amy. Yeah, not even she can know. It's gonna crush her, I'm sure, but the less people who know, the better. When George said her name, my whole body went shamefully cold. It had been 1.5 years since the hell she'd put me through, but every last detail of it remained carved into my mind and body. There was no way she would be even slightly sad about my death. She might act it, but she would almost certainly be elated by the news. It seemed George had still yet to see what lay beneath that woman's mask. I know you two were close. Huh? Are you worried about how this might affect her? What? She cared for you for about 6 months, didn't she? When you wouldn't let the servants in? What? From what I hear, you got real close to dying in there. You wouldn't even eat unless she was there. Who the hell told you that? What? Is that not what happened? Did something happen between you two, Mikhail? Amy didn't do a damn... Never mind. Damn. Oh man, better than me. If I was Mikhail there, I'd be like unleashing. It's not the time, and they probably don't have the time, and the carriage needs to go. But like, I would be like, she sucks, George. She sucks. I can't tell them. I can't put what I went through into words. It'll only worsen my shame, especially not in front of my brothers. George, how are things between you and Amy? You still letting what happened 2 years ago get to you? Well, I mean, at the time, things were a total disaster. I'm all excited about getting myself a pretty little wife, only to find out she's rocking the boat with someone else. I cried for weeks. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's really awkward. That's so awkward. That sucks so bad. Deep down, though, she ain't actually a bad girl. She's young, and kids make mistakes. After it all came out, she turned over a new leaf. She started doting on me something serious, and well,
It's hard not to let one little mistake like that go when she's trying so hard to make up with me. Oh, God. The age excuse doesn't work for Dee, though. For about a year, things were really rough between us. Didn't even want to look at him. But at the end of the day, we're family. We can get past anything. Besides, because you let the cat out of the bag, that gave me something to hold over Dee. All things considered, I'm not complaining. So, you would say you're happy then, George? Sure would, yep. Believe it or not, I'm kind of head over heels for her. Hard not to like a girl like Amy. Oh, I see. Do you really feel that bad about 2 years ago? So she's still keeping up the good girl facade around George and Didier. No one else knows she's actually a sadistic, cackling demon. There's nothing less trustworthy in the world than a woman who's always smiling. But if George thinks he's happy, can't take that away from him. Mikhail? Oh, right, yes. I do feel guilty about the way I lost control of my emotions and took it out on you guys. Happens to everyone. In fact, you could stand to do a little more shouting and fussing. Then you could... Because I have underdeveloped social skills? You heard that? You've got one hell of a nasty streak, huh, Dee? I'm glad to hear. Still on good terms. Wasn't my intention to pit the two of you against each other. We know. Blame falls on my shoulders. I want you to know something, Kel. Though your transformation was too much for Mother and Father to accept, with enough time, everything will go back to the way it was before, just like it did for myself and George's. None of this is your fault. It was all unfortunate timing. God's a little bit of a jerk, too. Try not to forget I am a knight, George. In time? In time. Speaking of which, we don't have much left. Gonna tell the coachman to sit off, okay? Didier. Yes? Tell me the truth. Will the three of us ever meet again? Why would you ever ask that? Of course we will. Not a chance I'm letting this be our last family get-together. One last question, then. Yes? Am I your brother? Don't fuck this up. Don't answer incorrectly. Let's not be an asshole when we answer. Well, I mean, look at you. Don't look like much of a sister to me. So yeah, I'd say you are. I see. So long, then. Farewell, and may good health bless you until we meet again. Until then, Mikhail. Farewell. Mikhail Michel. Before seeing me off for good, they both gave me strong, firm hugs. Didier first, and then George. The warmth I felt in their arms, in my family's arms, slowly spread through my chilled body, which made it that much more difficult to part ways. The wheels of the carriage rattled against the wet, stone-paved road. I stuck my head out the window, watching as they shrunk into the distance, standing there in the rain until they were completely out of view. A tightness filled my breast. Every glimmer of hope I had for my new life was matched by an equal degree of darkness and uncertainty. Would I ever make it back home? And if I did, would people still call me a demon child? Having the right mother was another uncomfortable weight on my soul. The thought of having to play a girl for her made me sick. George has acted like it would be nothing, but it wasn't that easy. It was more than mere pretend. Didier had said that with time things would change, but how could he be certain that those changes would be for the better? The wooden wheels turned, carrying me away to that cursed mansion. I think that's probably a natural stopping point here. What's gonna pop up here? Ooh. Yeah, let's call it there. That's a heavy couple hours, though. A heavy couple of hours. Painful to read, but we're getting the... I mean, we're always getting backstory, it feels like in this, but we're getting what the information we needed to know that led up to everything else. This is all very important. It's just upsetting to read and see and witness. Ugh. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff we've saved. Cool. Let's see. Weekend ahead. Weekend streams. Okay, so first thing on stream, unless something changes between now and then. But first thing I'm mostly going to want to do is finish Deltarune's Chapter 5. So that should probably be tomorrow. That'll probably be the first thing we do tomorrow whenever I get on stream. There's probably somewhere between like an hour to 3 left in that. Would be a guess of mine. Very hard to tell without me trying to check and then potentially seeing spoilers. So I'm trying not to. But I would guess, again, based on previous chapters' lengths, I would say we have a good chunk of one stream left. I think. So doing that sometime this weekend, checking out more Dench Attack would be fun. I would love to do that. And of course, it would be nice to get back to some more Xenoblade Chronicles. So some mix of those 3 things this weekend, but at the very least, definitely, almost said Fata Morgana again, Deltarune, and try to finish that this weekend. Oh, I did say I'd spin the wheel sometime maybe this weekend. We might do that as well. Who knows? Possible. Add another game, maybe. We'll see. Deltarune, though, first thing tomorrow whenever we start stream is going to be the goal. I will be now heading out for the night. I need to go and do some things before the day's over. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Heading out. Be on throughout the weekend. Have a great weekend. Otherwise, until next stream.